This time we're going to look at the exponential form where we have the numerator as a number that is not 1. So we'll see it's the same process. It's just that your exponent underneath the radical is just not going to be 1 this time. So the same process holds. If we have 9 to the power 3/2, we are going to take the denominator and make it the root or the index. So we're going to have the square root of 9 to the 3rd power. So notice that our exponent of 3 is going to be the exponent underneath the radical. All right, this same process is going to apply for the next one, where we have 64 to the power 2/3. So 3 is going to become the root, so that's the 3rd root of 64 to the 2nd power. All right, and the next one, 8 to the 4/3. So we're going to take 3, it's going to become the root. So again, a cube root or a 3rd root of 8 to the 4th power. 16 to the 3/4, so 4 comes in front as the root or the index. So the 4th root of 16 to the 3rd power. And finally, we have 32 to the 2/5. So 5 becomes the index for the 5th root of 32 to the 2nd power. All right, now to simplify this, I have Desmos pulled up so that we can just type these in. I'm going to show you both ways. So I can type 9 and then a to the power b gives me that exponent. And then for the exponent, I'm just going to type in 3 divided by 2. And that gives me a result of 27. Now it gave me that because look at the root. So now my radicand, 9 to the 3rd power, so if I were to simplify that, 9 to the 3rd power is 729. So we're really finding the square root of 729, which is 27. So you can simplify that either way that you want to. It's perfectly fine. All right, now let's keep on going. Let's find the 3rd root of 64 to the 2nd power. So you can also, if you go over to ABC, and then if you do, go to Functions, Miscellaneous, and then you see the nth root, that allows you to type in any number that you want. So 3 is our index, and we're looking for 64 to the 2nd power to be underneath the radical. And our final answer for that is 16. So you can type it in either way that you want in Desmos. I find that the exponential form is a little bit easier to type just because you don't have to navigate away from the main keyboard here. So I'm going to do 8 to the power 4 divided by 3 is 16 as well. All right, and then we have 16 to the power 3 divided by 4, and that's 8. And finally, 32 to the 2/5 is 4. Now I want to point out something. Notice how I have these 2 arrows here. So we went from exponential form, which is where we have the exponent, into radical form, which is where we have the radical. Now this rule of converting, it works both ways. So if I start, for example, with the cube root of 64 squared, all I'm going to do is reverse my process. So my index is now going to come underneath as my exponent, as the denominator of the exponent. And that's the only difference between going one direction and the other. You just reverse your process.